Have you ever watched The Fifth Element? Here, I'm playing the 4K Blu-ray disc on a PS5 and an Xbox Series X, and one of these consoles is skipping frames. Can you guess which console it is? Find out the answer at some point during this in-depth comparison video. Hello everyone, Munsil from HDTV Test here. Today, we are comparing the Sony PS5 and the Xbox Series X in terms of 4K Blu-ray picture quality, using two calibrated LG CX or C10 OLED TVs. First, we put up this color space evaluation test pattern from the excellent Spears & Munsil UHD HDR benchmark disc, and saw a few key differences from the HDMI output of these consoles. So let's dig deeper using more specialized test patterns from the disc. On these chroma multi-burst patterns, the Xbox Series X consistently appeared darker in the finer chroma burst than the PS5, both horizontally and vertically, indicating that the chroma channels were being rolled off. A similar trend can be seen as we cycle through the chroma zone plate patterns from the Spears & Munsil UHD HDR benchmark disc, with the outer regions, which are of higher frequencies, looking dimmer on the Xbox Series X, again suggesting more severe roll-off of the chroma channels. Next, we put up some color ramp patterns on both the Sony PS5 and the Xbox Series X, and the PS5 rendered the gradations in a smoother manner compared with the Xbox Series X, which exhibited visible bands including the occasional brighter streaks. Using the secret freezing information bar on the LG CX, we found out that the PS5 was outputting 12-bit YCBCR 444 during playback of UHD resolution at 23.976 frames per second, whereas the Xbox Series X was outputting 10-bit RGB, which may account for the difference in color gradation. We tried various methods on the Xbox Series X to try and force 12-bit output when playing 24Hz 4K Blu-rays, including checking YCC 422 in the Video Modes menu, as well as selecting 12-bit under the Video Fidelity and Overscan section. But on our Xbox Series X review unit with the latest system update installed at the time we filmed this video in February 2021, the HDMI output for 24Hz 4K Blu-rays always topped out at 10-bit RGB, revealing the console's PC-centric design. Now, there's always the small possibility that the difference in chroma bandwidth and color ramp smoothness we observed on screen was actually introduced by how the LG CX or C10 OLED handles YCBCR versus RGB. So to rule out that possibility, we hooked up the PS5 and the Xbox Series X to as many televisions as we could get our hands on. We will show you the results after a quick message from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. Surfshark allows you to stream content from another country without needing you to be physically there, so you can watch Netflix in higher bit rates and better picture quality. You can also get more content that's not available in your region, perhaps the US Netflix library, which contains more movie titles. For less than the price of a Big Mac per month, you can use Surfshark on as many devices as you want in your household, all at the same time. There's 24/7 live customer support, a 30-day money-back guarantee, and even instructions on how to set up the VPN on your LG or Samsung Smart TV. And for a limited time only, if you use promo code HDTV Test, you'll get 83% off and 3 extra months free. So sign up today and give Surfshark a try. I'll put the link in the YouTube description below. Thanks again for your support. Okay, here are the results for the Samsung Q80T QLED TV. The Sony A8, also marketed as the Bravia A8H in the USA. The Philips OLED Plus 935 with Bowers & Wilkins speaker bar. And just to show you the LG CX again up close on this color evaluation test pattern. As you can see, the results are the same regardless of the television, with the PlayStation 5 delivering higher chroma bandwidth and smoother gradation than the Xbox Series X. I would like to thank UK electrical retailer Crafter Morlitz for their help with some of these televisions. Please support them if you are looking to buy a new TV. It took us a good few weeks to get these TVs in and run these tests, but it is all worth it to provide complete peace of mind to our discerning viewers regarding the validity of our results. While comparing, we also noticed some slight color differences between the UHD Blu-ray presentation of the Xbox Series X and the PS5, so we used an Atomos Ninja 5 to record the HDMI output from each console to compare against the OPPO 203 and the Panasonic UB9000 4K Blu-ray players, which both have been verified to be bit perfect over YCbCR. As expected, the respective HDMI output of the Panasonic UB9000 and the OPPO 203 matched each other's perfectly on this multicolored test chart. But there are some differences between the PS5 and the Panasonic UB9000, and also between the Xbox Series X and the Panasonic UB9000, confirming that the 4K Blu-ray player outputs of both consoles are not bit perfect. Of course, most viewers won't spot these small color deviations in real-world content, but for video enthusiasts to whom bit perfect accuracy is important, a dedicated 4K Blu-ray player such as the Panasonic UB9000 would be the wiser choice. Besides test patterns, we also compared a number of Ultra HD Blu-rays on both consoles, displayed side by side on two LG CX OLEDs, which made it easier to spot a difference. When skipping chapters, the Xbox Series X would skip a frame or two before playback resumed normally, which could prove mildly annoying to the most anal videophiles, such as myself. The Xbox Series X also mishandled pure 24 frames per second Blu-rays, resulting in a fleeting stutter roughly every 42 seconds. To explain, the vast majority of 4K Blu-rays actually have a frame rate of 23.976, even though for the sake of convenience, most people round it up to 24 frames per second when saying it. However, there are a handful of European 4K Blu-rays with a true 24 frames per second frame rate, such as those released by French outfit Studio Canal. Here's the problem. The Xbox Series X outputs these 24 frames per second movies as 23.976 frames per second, so every 42 seconds or so, one frame has to be skipped, causing a micro stutter on screen. This issue is evident in the Studio Canal 4K Blu-ray release of The Fifth Element, but because it may not be clear when watched through YouTube on whatever display you are using currently, I'm going to slow things down, or else it'll be over too soon, so that you can see the frame skipping here. As you can see from the FreeSync information bar I've pulled up on the LG CX, the Sony PS5 correctly output 24 frames per second as 24 frames per second, and so presented the movie smoothly without any micro stutter. To sum up, the Sony PS5 is better than the Xbox Series X in terms of 4K Blu-ray playback. While casual viewers will still be satisfied with the 4K HDR presentation from the Xbox Series X when watching Ultra HD Blu-rays, the Sony PlayStation 5 simply delivered superior color gradation with less posterization, higher chroma bandwidth with less roll-off, as well as glitch-free 24 frames per second output. If you would like to watch other of our technical 4K Blu-ray player reviews, I've created a playlist here if you'd like to click on it, and I will see you in the next video.